Okay, here we have the propeller shaft housings completed. I have the stainless steel tubing inside these housings to act as a sleeve for the propeller shafts. If you remember, these are 3/16 inch outside diameter, and they create about a 3 millimeter inside diameter. So it's just right for the propeller shafts that I got for this, and we'll go over those in just a minute. Also got all my portholes drilled and sized correctly, and you'll note that these 4 portholes on the back were missing on the model, so they had to be drilled out, but they do exist on the actual model. So it's just one of those things you have to add. And there's some also portholes on the side that need to be puttied up and removed because they don't exist on the model on one of the sides of the ship's hull, but that we'll get to later. Alright, let's turn this over and look at the shafts from inside the hull. Okay, here we have the propeller shaft housings installed in the hull, and I have some bulkheads that I added to help secure the housings in place so that they would remain straight and line up with the motors. These are just, again, 3/16 inch stainless steel tubes. The outside diameter is 3/16 of an inch. Inside diameter measures around 3 millimeters. This is a 1/8 inch rod, and it's slightly bigger than the inside diameter of these, so I had to put them on a lathe and sand them down to size so that they could fit in here nice and loose but not wobbly. They turn pretty good. And then propellers, you can just, the shaft just sticks out nicely, and I can adjust that to whatever length I need to fit the propeller. Alright, so next let's take a look at the motor. Okay, here's the motor. It's just a little tiny DC motor, and it's got a 2 millimeter shaft on it. And here are the specifications. I bought these on Amazon. They come in a pack of 5, and their voltage range is from 3 to 12 volts. So to vary the speed of the motor, you just vary the volts. And then there's the rest of the specifications and the price for 5 of them. And then here we have the coupler. This is just a coupler that will fit a 2 millimeter shaft to a 3 millimeter shaft. And it's brass. And these are the specifications from Amazon and where I got them, and what a pack of 4 cost. So those are what the motors look like and the coupler. Let's take a look at the motors as they sit in the bulkheads that I made for them. Okay, here we have the motors installed in their respective bulkheads. The central propeller shaft is driven by the center motor, and I made a bulkhead, and that's the measurement that I took in the hull where I'm going to sit this. And I attached these little motors using 2.5 millimeter screws. That's what fit these motors, and I just got them at the hobby shop. I also drilled some holes in this bulkhead so that it will support the side propeller shaft housings and propeller shafts and keep them all centered and supported. And then we got the bulkhead with the 2 wing propeller shafts, and that's the approximate measurement that I took to get it started to fit inside the hull at the position I want to sit these motors. So let's take a look at these bulkheads as they are installed in the hull. Okay, YouTubers, here I have the center propeller shaft motor installed, and it's just a dry fit, so I haven't got it glued yet. But there are the measurements where I have it sitting. It's at 215 feet 2 inches in scale on the model, or at the actual position is 328 millimeters from the rear perpendicular. And if you don't know what the rear perpendicular is, the rear perpendicular on these ships is this here right in front of the rudder. It's the edge right here. They call that the rear perpendicular, and that's where a lot of the measurements are taken from. Alright, let's install the bulkhead with the two wing motors installed. Okay, now the bulkhead with the wing motors for the propellers on the sides is installed, and this bulkhead is sitting at the 240 foot 9 inch mark in scale, and the actual measurement from the rear perpendicular on this model is 367 millimeters. And you can see with the big hole in the middle of that bulkhead, it makes it easy to hook up the wires to the center motor. So that is the motors and their dry propeller shafts installed. It's still a dry fit. I haven't glued everything together, but that's what it looks like in this model. Stay tuned.